Hi, so in this video we will analyze how integrated management systems, also known as IMS and international certifications, help companies operate more efficiently and compete in global markets. So here is the table of content. So introduction. In international trade, especially in agro-export sector, companies do not compete only on price, they compete in trust. Buyers and authorities need evidence that products meet quality, safety, environmental, and ethical standards. So to explain and understand this, we will use Maran Company, a Peruvian agro-export company, as a reference case. Through this example, we will show how IMS and certifications are not just formal requirements, but practical tools that support market access, risk reduction, and long-term competitiveness. The objectives of this report are the following. So first, to explain what IMS are and how they are implemented in practice. Second, to analyze the strategic role of Lean and Lean Six Sigma in supporting IMS performance. And third, to explain and compare key certifications processes relevant to agro-export companies. And finally, to provide practical recommendations for companies like Maran Company that operate in highly regulated international markets. Integrated management system is based on the idea of managing different organizational requirements through one unified system, instead of separate and disconnect systems. Most of ISO management standards share a common structure. This makes it possible to integrate them into single frameworks with shared processes, documents, and controls. Rather than having three different systems, IMS allows companies to work with one risk management approach, one document control system, one internal audit program, one corrective action process, and also one management review. For agro-export companies, this integration is especially important because failures in one area, such as quality or safety, can directly affect the market access and the reputation. Now let's focus on how an IMS is implemented, because this is where the real value is created. So implementing IMS should be treated as a strategic decision, not just a certification project. ISO highlights that main value of IMS is improved consistency, efficiency, and decision-making across the organization. For Maran Company, an effective IMS implementation can be explained in these four key stages.
So stage 1, a strategic alignment and scope definition. The first step is align the IMS with the company business objectives. This means clearly defining the scope of the system. For Maran Company, this scope may include suppliers management, coordination with packing facilities, quality inspections, cold chain logistics, export documentation, and customer requirements. Research shows that IMS implementations are more successful when they are linked to business strategy instead of being treated only as a compliance tool. So, stage 2 is risk-based integration of standards. ISO standards such as ISO 9001, ISO 14001, ISO 45001 emphasize risk-based thinking because these standards share a common structure. Maran Company can manage quality risks, environmental impacts, and worker safety through shared processes such as risk assessments, documents control, corrective actions, and management reviews. In agro-exports, risk-based thinking is critical. A single failure can result in border reactions, product losses, or long-term reputational damage. Stage 3, operational deployment and performance measurement. Once integrated processes are defined, the IMS must be deployed at the operational level. This includes clear procedures and, most importantly, measurable performance indicators. Studies emphasize that IMS only creates value when performance is monitored through KPIs. According to Singh et al., 2011, for agro-export companies, relevant KPIs include shipment conformity rates, temperature compliance in the cold chain, audit non-conformities, customer complaints, and rework and repacking costs. Without measurements, an IMS remains only into documentation. Lean Six Sigma to support. Lean Six Sigma complement IMS by improving operational performance. While IMS provides structure and control, Lean focuses on reducing waste and variability. In agro-export operations, common sources of waste include waiting times, rework, transportation inefficiencies, inventory problems, and defects. Lean tools such as 5S, standard work, root cause analysis, and DMAIC help address these issues and strengthen IMS results.
Certification process. Now let's talk about certifications, but in a practical way, how Maran company will obtain them and why they matter for exporting fresh avocados. In global agri-food trade, certifications were like trust mechanisms. They reduce uncertainty for buyers and help exporters prove that their operations meet recognized requirements. For Marant, this translates into smoother commercial negotiations, fewer disputes, and stronger access to demanding markets. To keep this clear, we will show the step by step process on screen while we explain the key points and the impact. First, we have global gap, farm level assurance for avocados. What is this? Global gap focuses on good agricultural practices. For avocados, it's basically the baseline passport for many buyers because it covers food safety, traceability, and work and environmental practices. In a step by step, what we have to do, Maran Company. First, he and they have to register the farm produce in the global gap system, do a gap assessment against the standard, implement required controls, and record inputs, hygiene, traceability, and training. 4. External audit by an accredited certification body, and 5. Certification granted plus renewal through annual audits. What's the impact of GAP in Maran Company? For Maran Company, Global GAP helps insurance advocated suppliers meet consistent production controls and documentation. This reduces the risk of buyers to complaints and supports access to the mining clients, especially those who require strong traceability and farm level assurance. Global GAP 2024, Harrison et al. 2011. And in this case, we have also organic certification. EU used premium market access. And what is this? Organic certifications is about proving that avocados are produced and handled under organic rules. Mainly restrictions on inputs, strong traceability, and separations from conventional product. In a step by step, first they have two conversion period. Farms stop using prohibited inputs. Second, organic management plan plus approved input controls. 3. Separation and traceability across harvest, packing, and transport. Annual inspection by an accredited organic certificate, and 5. Certification approval and authorization to sell as organic is not just a label. The impact for Maran Company is that organic certification is a market strategy. It's like I invest. Why? Because it's not just a label. It can open access to premium segments and higher value buyers. but it also increased discipline in documentation, traceability, and segregation controls, especially important for avocados because supply chains can mix product flows if controls are weak. European Commission's 2024 used the 2024.
The recommendations for Moran Company include adopting IMS progressively, using lean projects to reduce rework, delays, and risk, selecting certifications aligned with target markets, and managing compliance through a consistent KPI dashboard. So the conclusions we have are the IMS and certifications are not just requirements. They are strategic tools that help companies build trust, reduce risks, and compete in global markets. So for this company, integrating IMS and certification supports sustainable growth and long-term success in global agro-food markets. Thank you.
Integrated management system. Marant defines which activities will be controlled by the system. This includes supplier selection, avocado quality inspection, packing coordination, cold chain logistics, and export documentation. Here in the second one, we have the process, the responsibilities, the risk controls, and the KPIs. First, the process that are quality inspection of avocados, cold chain handling and transport, and export documentation control. In the responsibilities also are the quality supervisor checks fruit condition, logistic staff monitors transport temperature, and the export staff prepares shipping documents. In the risk controls are the damage and the contaminated products, the documentation mistakes in export papers also. In the KPIs are the shipment conformity rate, the temperature compliance in the cold chain, the number of customer complaints, the reward of repacking cost, and in the third one, the run internal audits. Maran check if workers are following procedures. If problems appears, the company investigates the cause and applies corrective action to prevent it from happening again. In the fourth one, the documentation and the implementation, the external certification audit, are in the documentation we have the quality manual and procedures, the risk assessment, the training record of employees, the internal audit report, the corrective action record, and the KPIs monitoring records also. And in the implementation are the workers following procedures, the quality inspection of avocados, the temperature control in cold chain logistics, the correct preparation of export documents, and also are the use of safety equipment for employees. The certifications are quality management, environmental management, and occupational health and safety. Supply chain security for export. The security risk assessment is basically where can incidents occur. Marant identifies possibly security risks in its export chain. For example, contamination of containers, cargo theft, smuggling, or unauthorized access to the warehouse or the port. Second one are the procedures and controls, are the access control, the container checks, the documentation security. In the access controls are only authorized personnel can enter the warehouse. Employees use ID badge or biometric entry. The visitors must register and be supervised, and they have restricted areas also. The container checks are inspection of container structures. There are the doors, the walls, the floor, also the verification of container number and the verification of seal number before loading. And the documentation security are limited access to export documents, control of the packing list, and bill or bill or lading, the verification of shipping information, and the protection against document falsification or cargo manipulation. In the third one, the staff training and incident reporting are the employees receive security training, and workers are also learn how to recognize suspicious situations and how to report incidents to the supervisor. And the external audit are the unauthorized certification body evaluates the company. The auditors review security procedures and visited the facilities to verify that controls are really applied in operation. And the certifications are the Business Alliance for Secure Commerce and the Security Management System for the Supply Chain. The last one is ethical trade. Basically, Maran registers in the SEDEX platform and complete a self-assessment question about labor conditions, health and safety, and companies' policies. The second one are the documentation and policies. The worker documentations are the employment contracts, the payroll and pay slips, the attendance and working hours records, the overtime records, and in the health and safety are the safety procedures, the use of protective equipment, the accident and incident records, the emergency and evacuation plan. The company policies are anti-discrimination policy, no child labor, no forced labor, and harassment and abuse prevention policy. In the management controls are training record for workers, complaint or grievance procedure, and worker communication channels. Third one are the independent on-site audit. During the visit, the auditor does not only review documents, it also observes how the company actually operates and interviews the workers privately. The objectives of this is to compare what the company reports with real working conditions. SMETA verifies real labor conditions, not only company paperwork. And in the fourth one, the corrective action plan. After the audit, if no compliance means are detected, Maran must create a corrective action plan. The action plan that they have are the reduce excessive overtime hours, provide missing protective equipment, correct payroll or unpaid wage, improve rest breaks and working schedules, update safety procedures, and train supervisors on worker treatment. The company must also define who is responsible, what action will be taken, and deadline for correction. Last one is the verification, the follow-up verification. After the company makes the corrections, the auditor verifies them and reviews documents again and confirms on site that workers now have proper conditions. If all requirements are great, Maran passed the SMETA audit and can work with international buyers.